Welcome to the Tattoo Marketing Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about closed-bot AI. This is a subject that we talked about a few weeks ago when the founder of the software came on. And if you've heard me talk about this AI bot that we're using to book consultations, that is what this is. So we're going to talk about how we're using it, the power of it, because it's been a game changer for the shops that we've implemented this in. How you can use it, and kind of where we see the future of AI going when it comes to stuff like this. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy. Hey, really quick before we get into the podcast, if you could do us a giant favor and leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening to this on, it's absolutely huge for us and also helps other artists and shop owners find this podcast. We really appreciate it. Enjoy. Welcome to this week's episode of the Tattoo Marketing Podcast. Today we're talking about closed-bot AI. If you're not sure what that is, or if you've heard me talking about the software we're using for the shops we work with to book consultations, this is it. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to closebot.ai after this episode, but we'll kind of break it down with how we're using it for shops and why it's been really, really amazing. And also some of the features that we are going to be adding to it for the shops we're working with. So what is closed-bot AI? The definition from the maker is closed-bot AI is an AI-powered tool designed to automate sales tasks and help sales teams close deals more efficiently. It uses machine learning algorithms and natural language processing to understand the needs of customers, provide relevant responses, and move conversations forward. This allows sales teams to focus on the most promising leads and spend less time on routine tasks. Now, I know that doesn't really mean much for tattoo shops, but let's first go into why it's so powerful, and then we will talk about how we're using it for the shops that we've implemented this software with. So why is this so powerful? So one of the biggest issues we see when working with tattoo shops is we can bring all the consultation requests in the world. We can have people fill out a form. We can have people call the shop, but if that call is not getting answered, or if it's taking days to get back to that person that filled out the form, or you're sending them an email back instead of a text or call, there's a huge drop off in the amount of people that are actually going to come in for that consultation. So one of the really powerful things about this is it gets rid of all of those problems. So how it works is essentially it will get back to somebody immediately within 1 minute. Anytime somebody fills out a form. So we have, we'll run Google ads or meta ads to a landing page, which is a one-page website. And then we'll have, a typical consultation request form on there that gets the people's basic information. It gets the style, placement and size, reference images, how soon they want to come in, and a couple other questions. But after they fill that out, what we used to do is just send it to the shop, and then it was up to the shop to book that consultation. And again, it's tattoo artists, tattoo shop owners, you guys aren't salespeople. This isn't what you want to do. You want to draw, you want to tattoo. You don't want to have to worry about carrying a cell phone around and as soon as somebody fills out a form, sending them a text or anything like that. So this takes care of all that. It gets back to them within 1 minute and starts that conversation. And since it gets back to them so quickly, the amount of responses we get from that individual, it's over 90%. Where if you're going to wait, even an hour, that's going to drop to 50, 60%. And anything after a few hours, you're going to drop to under 30%. After a couple of days, it drops to about 5%. So the response rate is over 90% when we use this, was one of the reasons it's so powerful. Two, if you're paying for advertising, but you're letting those consultation requests just sit, so you're not able to get a hold of the person, you're just wasting a ton of money. If somebody's willing to give you all their information and fill out their tattoo, what they want, and upload reference images, like they're interested in getting a tattoo. But if you're not able to get back to them really quickly, they're just going to go typically to the next shop. So this gets rid of all that wasted ad spend, because you're able to essentially get a hold of them without actually having to do anything. And another reason why it's so powerful, it's essentially a front desk person who never leaves and is always happy. We can run this bot 24/7. It never is cranky. It never leaves the desk. It's never helping a customer. Even if you have two consultation request forms filled out at the same time, it can respond to both at the exact same time. It doesn't mess it up. So it's essentially the happy front desk person that never leaves and is extremely cheap to use, which is makes it super powerful. I mean, with especially paid advertising, these people don't already know your shop if you're doing paid advertising right. And so whoever reaches out to book that consultation is the first point of contact from your shop to this person. So that is the impression they're going to get of your shop. If you're having a high no-show rate after you get a hold of somebody, it's probably something in that first conversation that's turning somebody off. It can be just that you don't sound friendly. I mean, it's one of the issues with text is it's really hard to convey emotion. You might just be busy. The front desk person might be in a bad mood. But if you have that bad first impression in that first series of texts, like the no-show rate is going to be extremely huge for the actual consultation. So this is always happy. And kind of speaking of that, I want to go over an example conversation it had. This is actually one that I just found this morning when I was taking a look at it. This isn't a cherry pick. This is the most recent one. So let's get over it, or let's get into it. So it's already started the conversation. It's already, the introduction has been done, and it is talking to a female that is interested in getting a consultation. So this is the transcript of the conversation. So you can see how well this does. Like if you didn't know this was a bot, you would never imagine, because it does so darn well. It's running off Chat GPT 4 Turbo, which makes it extremely intelligent. So the woman says, I have too many ideas I'd like to have done. Could I group them into the same session? One is literally 2 words, and the other is a couple small jellyfish to add to an already existing tattoo. The bot. Absolutely. We can definitely work on both ideas in the same session. Sounds like a cool concept. Are these tattoos tied to any personal significance, or are it just something you fancy? So it's already starting to build rapport. It's telling them it's a cool idea, and it's asking them about it. That's a huge step. Is people, for you, it's another day in the office. For them, it's this thing that they're putting on the body for the rest of their life. Making them feel like it's a special moment for them is a big deal. Again, especially if it's somebody that hasn't worked with your shop before. And then the woman replies, yay, thank you. The first is personal. The words are in my husband's handwriting. Lame, I know. Goofy face emoji. I have letter for stenciling references, and the jellyfish I just thought would be were neat and would go well with my shark tattoo. I don't think they have to be anything bigger than $50. My shark isn't that big. And then the bot, not lame at all. It sounds really unique and personal. And the jellyfish addition to your shark tattoo sounds like a great idea. Now, tell me if you've ever seen a front desk person or a tattoo artist be that friendly. Like, it's not overly friendly. It's not like this ridiculous, oh my God, that's so cool. But it is extremely friendly. And you can tell by the conversation that she feels like she's being heard and that it's being appreciated. And then the bot asks, so it's built this report. It's starting to now actually book the consultation. Would you prefer to come in for a consultation this week or over the weekend? Woman, haha, thank you. I work until 4:30 today through Friday, so anytime after that will be cool. The bot is now going to check the calendar that we have set up for when consultations can be done and give her some time slots. The bot, I see, unfortunately, our available slots for this week are during the day. How about we schedule your consultation for this weekend? We have spots open on Saturday and Sunday. Would that work for you? Woman, no problem. Saturday would probably be better. Anytime is fine. Bot, great. How about we pencil you this Saturday at 2:30 p.m.? Does that work for you? Woman, sounds good to me. Thank you so much. Bot, awesome. You're all set for Saturday at 2:30 p.m. We look forward to seeing you and working on your tattoo ideas. Remember to bring the letters for reference. See you soon. So it's going back in the conversation and remembering that she said she had stencils to use as a reference, and is bringing it up at the end of the conversation, tying it all together. See you soon. If you did not know that conversation was coming from a bot, you would assume it's just a super friendly front desk person, a super friendly tattoo artist. And this is a typical conversation. It's really, really good at building rapport. And again, having that first touch point be something that's the person is enjoying and doesn't feel like they're bothering a tattoo artist, because Again, tattoo artists are busy. You guys have stuff to do. Texting back and forth is, not always your favorite thing to do, especially when you have a bunch of them, or emailing back and forth, or trying to work out your DMs. There's so many different places people contact you guys. So letting this bot do that, always be in a good mood. It knows about your shop. If she would have asked the minimum, it would have told her. If she would have asked the hours, the location, the phone number, all of that information, the bot knows. If it doesn't know, it will just tell the person to call the shop. But it's pretty darn smart. So after that consultation is set, we actually have it book on the calendar that the artist has access to, or the shop has access to. And then that person will get reminders about their their appointment. So if they don't show up, it's not because they forgot. So that's an example of the conversation. I mean, I'm sure you can see how powerful that would be, especially this is automated. This isn't something that you have to do. This happens whether you're in the shop, out of the shop, on vacation in Hawaii, anything like that. So how we're currently using this for the shops we work with is when somebody fills out a form, the bot will reach out within 2 minutes, kind of like I said. And again, it works really, really well. That's how we're currently using it. But we have some stuff in the works that we're currently building on the back end, and it's going to be able to do a lot more than just answer or set consultations when somebody fills out a form. How we're going to have it set up here, probably within the next month, including what it's doing now, is if somebody calls the shop and that call doesn't get picked up, the person either hangs up or it goes to voicemail. This bot will reach out. And since we don't already have, if somebody calls, we don't already have a form filled out with the style and stuff, this bot will actually start talking to them about the tattoo they want, the style, the timeline, size and placement. It will get all that information so we can give it to the shop, and then it will actually book the consultation. So not only that for calls, but also the other software we use is called Go High Level, and we integrate these two. And in Go High Level, you can have all the calls to the shop go into the software, all the emails, all the texts, all the DMs from social media. So they all go into this one spot, and the bot is going to be able to handle all of that. I know how frustrating it is if you are trying to handle people messaging you on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and you're getting emails, and people are texting you, and people are calling the shop. And there's just so many people that get essentially forgotten about, not because you don't want to do it, but because there's so many different places that people are trying to contact you and set up consultations. So using this system to bring everything in, even if you didn't use the bot, just using this system to bring all communication from all your platforms into one spot massively reduces the amount of people that fall through the cracks. There's the analogy I like to use is you have a bucket and you're filling it with water, and those are the new people coming in, new people requesting consultations. Well, the only better thing to do than continue to fill that bucket is to patch all the holes so nothing's leaking. And that's essentially the people falling through the cracks that are getting forgotten, or that you just missed their DM because they sent in an email and you have 200 new emails, stuff like that. So this bot takes care of all of that. The software takes care of all of that. And again, we talked about missed calls, which is huge. We have a few shops that they either don't have a front desk person, or that front desk person only works 2 days a week. Or even if they have a front desk person, they could be talking to somebody or ringing somebody up, and they just can't answer the phone. So if they do that, this bot will reach out within 1 minute, and actually get that information about the tattoo that this person wants, and then book them into a consultation to come in. So this thing's awesome. It's super cool. I wanted to also just touch really quick on the use of AI and where it's going, because it has advanced so insanely quick. Like just from a year ago, if you saw AI pictures, the eyes were always crooked, the hands were messed up, the capacity to have a two-way conversation with a bot was just very, very it had pre-programmed responses. It couldn't really deviate from it. And now what we're seeing is it's able to have full-on conversations like it's a human. And this is like, it's never going to get worse than it is now. It's only going to get better. So implementing it in your shop is really just a really, really good way to, one, save you time, two, save you money, and three, make sure you're not missing out on people that want to come in and um, get a consultation, get a tattoo from you. And one thing I want to touch on real quick, because I've had a lot of shop owners ask me about this, like if somebody comes in and they ask for something that's inappropriate or something that you don't do, the bot knows that, and the bot will tell them, hey, we don't do that stuff. Or if they're like, hey, what's the shop minimum? My budget is $50 and your shop minimum is 200. I'll be like, hey, we're not going to be the shop for you. So it's not just going to book consultations with literally anything that asks. It's going to be set to what your shop does, the shop minimum. If let's say your shop only does anime and this person wants like black and gray realism, like it's going to say, hey, we don't do that here. Um, but touching on how good AI is getting, we're also starting to see AI phone call software come out. And it's at a point where it's good enough to use. It's not great, but it's good enough to use. But there's softwares out there that can actually have a phone call from you. It's exactly like this chatbot, except there's a voice on the other end. And at this point, it sounds like it has a little bit of an accent, but it doesn't sound like a robot like you typically think how robot like voicemails and stuff like that are. But it's not perfect. Look at it in like a year, 2 years, something like that. Imagine if you're having a guest artist come in and you can call literally every single one of your past clients or until his schedule fills out using this AI software. So you don't actually have to do it. You can send out text and have the AI close bot work on the text. You can send out phone calls, or you can just have it send out reminder phone calls. Like a day before, your shop calls the person and just confirms over the phone that person is going to be able to show up tomorrow, and it's all AI. Like the amount of stuff we're going to be seeing AI do in the next year or 2 years, I mean, even now is absolutely nuts. And again, I know AI is a touchy subject, but this is just a tool. This is just a tool that is something that will save you time. It's something that will save you money. You know, getting it set up can be a little bit tricky, but there's plenty of people you can hire out there, especially for like close bot and go high level. And kind of going into that. So what does it cost to set up one of these bots? So go high level is $99 a month. Um, it does a lot more than just sending out texts, emails, stuff like that. Like we have InkLink and every single shop that we work with, we build out in high level. You can do, I mean, obviously all the conversation stuff I talked about, but there's scheduling software. You can take payments through it. You can set up text reminders for stuff. You can send out text to all your past clients, stuff like that. So you can build landing pages. It's a really, really powerful software. I know most shops aren't going to need it, but for $99 a month, it's not bad. Now, CloseBot AI, I think is about $70 a month. Plus you pay like 3 cents a text, which isn't bad. You're not going to spend that much. I think for all the shops we work with, we spend like 200 a month, but again, we're talking 70 plus shops. So for yours, you're looking at, I don't know, $5 a month at most. So you're looking probably $170, $180. If you do work with us, we set this up for free. Especially when we start to do this more advanced stuff, it's going to be a little harder to set up, but there are plenty of people that you can hire to actually build these out for you. And so where to find it? So high level, the software we're talking about where you can bring all your stuff into, all your notifications, all your texts, all your DMs, is gohighlevel.com. And Closebot is closebot.ai. And I also did a podcast, I want to say it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, with the founder, Bryce. So you can take a listen to that if you're interested in it. And just so you guys know, we're not affiliated with any of these people. Like we don't make any money if you sign up, anything like that. It's just a really, really powerful software. With how much the industry is going, we're going to see it essentially double in the next 5 years is what it's projected to. Forbes has come out with an article. There's plenty of business magazines have come out with articles. The tattoo industry is one of the fastest growing industries in the US. So the stuff we're talking about right now is going to be extremely effective as that pie gets cut thinner and more shops start popping up. The last thing I want to say on this is if you're doing paid ads, awesome. But again, that's only half of it. It's awesome if you have good ads running, you have people come in, you have people calling the shop, you have people filling out forms. But the second half of that is that sales process. Tattoo artists are usually pretty awesome when they have somebody in front of them. They can close them, they can get them to put down a deposit, get them excited about the tattoo. The biggest shortcoming between someone filling out a form and the artist actually talking to them is getting them in the shop. And that's a big issue we see a lot of the time. So this essentially gets rid of that. And for $170, or if you work with us, as cheap as $500 a month, and that includes everything we do. That's not just the bot and stuff. You're essentially getting a front desk person that is the best front desk person you'll ever have. Doesn't call in sick, doesn't leave the desk, is super friendly all the time, and makes people feel good and builds rapport with them before they even come to your shop. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'll talk soon.